Tale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Thank you for coming. So, Maharaj will be giving his session at 8:30. So, we'll discuss about Brahma Samhita until then. Is that fine? Okay. So, any of you would like to share what you know about Brahma Samhita? Can we give them a mic, please?
It's a prayer by Lord Brahma to Krishna.
Very nice. It's a prayer by Lord Brahma to Krishna. Anything else?
If I remember, it was said when Lord Brahma came out of the lotus flower of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, so when Garbhodakshaya Vishnu emanated the lotus flower out of his navel, Brahma came out and then he recited this Brahma Samhita. Nice. Very good points. So this work, Brahma Samhita, is very important for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, especially because it was prescribed by Caitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the whole life of Caitanya Mahaprabhu consists of 48 years, out of which 24 years he performed his pastimes in Navadvip. That's called Adi Leela. And the rest of the 24 years, the first 6 years he spent roaming around everywhere in India. He went to the South India, he went to Vrindavan, he went to Navadvip again. So this he did for 6 years. So that constitutes Madhya Leela. Then the rest 18 years constitute Antya Leela. The rest 18 years he stayed in Jagannath Puri, and with his close associates he performed many pastimes. So at the end of 24 years, in the month of Magha, Caitanya Mahaprabhu took the sannyas. And after taking sannyas, he came to Jagannath Puri, and at the month of Vishaka, so you have Magha, and after that you have Phalguna, and then after that you have Chaitra, and then after that you have Vaishakha. So you have, so in the month of Vaishakha, Caitanya Mahaprabhu decided that he wants to spread the power of holy name and spread Krishna consciousness all over India. Just like Srila Prabhupada had the desire to spread Krishna consciousness movement everywhere at the age of 71, 72, 1965. Yeah. So similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also desired to inaugurate this Krishna consciousness movement. He is said to be the real founder of this Krishna consciousness movement. Right? So then he took permission from all of his associates in Jagannath Puri. One of his close associates is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He just made Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya realize the truth about Krishna a month back. Okay. Within a month, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya developed so much attraction to Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he wasn't leaving Caitanya Mahaprabhu to go out of Jagannath Puri. He said that if you go, we'll feel so much separation. No, you have to stay here. So agreeing to the request of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Caitanya Mahaprabhu stayed for some time, and then he started his tour to South India. So he met Ramananda Rai, Ramananda Rai is one of the very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With Ramananda Rai, he had great, intimate, esoteric topic discussions. And he met him in a South India tour. So Ramananda Rai was in a very great position in government. And then he resigned that position, and then he joined Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Then he also met a devotee of Lord Ram in Madurai. So in Madurai he met him, and that devotee was crying. Why? Because in Ramayana, Ravana kidnapped Sita. So he was crying, how could Mother Sita, who is the wife of the Supreme Lord, how could he be touched by Ravana, the demon Ravana? How could that happen? How can he even touch Sita? So he wasn't so much worried about that, and he was fasting. He wasn't even taking prasadam. So at the time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to another place, and then he found an evidence in Kurma Purana. So in the Kurma Purana, there is an evidence showing that when Ravana was about to touch Mother Sita, the original Sita disappeared. And then a Maya Sita, fake Sita was created. So that Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. So when did the original Sita come? Anybody? Come back. When did she come back? So when Lord Ram asked Sita to enter the fire after he won over Ravana, so at that time, the Maya Sita went into the fire and the original Sita came out. So you have, some people criticize Lord Ram, why he asked Sita to enter the fire. But you see, that is an entrance for the original Sita to return back. Okay. So in that tour, then he went also to Kerala. You would like to say something? So in that tour, he went to Kerala, and then he met opposing parties in the name of Bhattadaris. So these Bhattadaris tried to distract his servant. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having a servant all around the South India tour. His name is Kala Krishna Das. So the Bhattadaris distracted Kala Krishna Das, and then they were inducing him to associate with women. He is assisting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he also got distracted by that, right? Somehow the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at the final moment, he saved Kala Krishna Dasa from that association of women. At the time, all these people who were trying to induce Kala Krishna Dasa to associate with women, they took out all the weapons. You would see in movies, Indian movies especially, right? All the people will come out with so many weapons. I always used to wonder how the hero is going to tackle, somehow or the other he comes out. But in case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, I also felt how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to deal with this situation. Simple, he took the chakra and then killed them all. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wasn't revealing his power in Navadvipa, but in South India tour, he revealed his power. He also revealed his glorious potency to spread out Krishna consciousness. So when he was traveling in South India, what he will do? Many people will come and see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of attraction to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body, the features, and the prema he has. And then he will just embrace one person, and then he will empower that person. That person will achieve prema within a fraction of a second, right? And then he will go into his village, he will start preaching, and then whoever is coming in touch with that person, they will also attain prema. And then it was just multiplying like that. So we see also, we are very fortunate to witness that happens, just happened, 50 years ago by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada came to the West. He would just empower some devotees. They would go to UK and they will start a center. So many people will just come by, right? Before Srila Prabhupada, people were actually wondering whether Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's words will come true or not. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that this, my holy name will be sung every street, every corner in the whole world, they were having a hard time believing that, because the whole movement was constrained within Bengal. Nobody was having faith. This is going to spread all over the world. First, what to speak of, they weren't having faith that it will spread throughout India. Then what to speak of the whole world and Western people, how it's going to get convinced. But it happened by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the influence of the power of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It happened through the medium of Srila Prabhupada. So from there, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went from Kerala to Adikeshava temple on the bank of Tapaswini river. Payaswini river. So, has anyone visited Adikeshava temple? So I was fortunate to visit Adikeshava temple. It's a very beautiful deity. It's a form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. So huge deity. And then you can just walk from one end to another end just to take the darshan of the deity. And because not so much crowd was there when I went, you could just go very close to the Lord and then take the whole darshan. He's so beautiful. Form of Vishnu was lying down there, Adikeshava. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Adikeshava temple, prema was flowing out of his body, right? And he was glorifying the Supreme Lord. He was offering obeisances to the Supreme Lord. He was singing, he was dancing, he was doing all sorts of, ecstatic madness, performing that. And looking at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showing this different ecstatic symptoms, all the people were amazed, wondered, and they got attracted to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they invited him, gave him proper reception, and so on. So after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took the association of the great devotees there in the Adikeshava temple. So this is also one of the important thing that we do when we visit the different tirthas. We go to different tirthas not to just take bath, but we also take the association of the elevated Vaishnavas there. We hear from them. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a goshti. Goshti means a meeting with a discussion with the elevated Vaishnavas there in Adikeshava temple. So there he discovered a single chapter of Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita is said to have 100 chapters, and we have located, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has discovered only the 5th chapter, and after that there was, I don't know what happened, there was no effort to discover the rest of the chapters, maybe it's not even there. But this is the 5th chapter, we have 62 verses in that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a copy of that Brahma Samhita and then came back to Jagannath Puri. In the whole South India trip, he took only 2 books in his whole trip. One is Brahma Samhita. What's the other book? Anybody knows?
Higher taste.
What is that? Higher taste.
There's one other book where there's Sita, the Chaya Sita and Maya Sita. I am forgetting the name of the book.
Yeah, this is the Kurma Purana, specific pages. He was taking the Kurma Purana pages to the devotee in Madurai. He was showing him the evidence. But my question is, he collected 2 books in his entire trip and then he took it back to Jagannath Puri. And they became so popular among the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of the whole South India, he just took only 2 books, he collected. One is Brahma Samhita. That's why it's so popular that we recite on every Saturday here. The other work is Krishna Karanamrita by Bilva Mangala Thakur. It's a very beautiful book. It's a very small book also. We can just quickly read it as well. Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami himself commented on that book. There is a commentary available on Krishna Karanamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraja Goswami. And in Brahma Samhita, Jiva Goswami has commented. Apart from Jiva Goswami's commentary, we don't have so much elaborate commentary in the whole parampara until the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur wrote an English commentary. He didn't write a Bengali commentary. Usually he would write Bengali commentary, but he wrote an English commentary. And if you try reading that English commentary, you will be flabbergasted. So it's very difficult English. But he captures the accuracy in Sanskrit into English. So that is the scholarship. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is known for his scholarship. He captures everything in English properly. So these are the two commentaries we have. Brahma Samhita itself has 62 verses. The first verse itself establishes Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Okay. So we have in Bhagavatam, Ete Changsa Kalapuramsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So that Bhagavan Swayam is completely established in Brahma Samhita. And in the first verse itself, we will see that. And after that first verse, then from verse 2 to 6, a description of Goloka in the form of an yantra. You know what yantra is? It is just a figurative representation of a mantra. So your mantra, you say with a sound, you can also put it in a diagram form. That becomes the yantra. Okay. So the whole Goloka Vrindavan is described in a yantra form, verse 2 to 6. And after that, we have a creation process. So usually you would see any text, when they start glorifying Krishna, even in esoteric books as well, they'll first talk about the majestic aspect of the Lord. Then they will go into the esoteric aspect. See, this in Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda is a very esoteric book, but still, he starts with Pralaya Payojali, right? About the 10 avatars of Krishna. It establishes the majestic aspect of Krishna, then he goes into the sweetness aspect. So here also creation is being talked. How from Krishna comes the different forms of Vishnu, and then the creation is carried out, which also establishes the context to Brahma's appearance. Brahma comes out of the lotus, and then he speaks this beautiful Brahma Samhita. So the actual prayer by Lord Brahma starts from verse 29. So almost half of Brahma Samhita is a description prior to that, establishing the context. Yes, a question?
Yeah, just a small question. So if Lord Brahma only spoke from verse 29, then who spoke 1 to 28?
So at the end of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, Shukadeva Goswami appears. From second canto onwards, Shukadeva Goswami speaks. So who spoke first canto? Of course, Sutta Goswami speaks from second chapter onwards. Then who spoke first chapter? Vyasadeva. So here also, in the commentary of Jiva Goswami, he actually glorifies Vyasadeva. So we can take it that as an indication that this was written by Vyasadeva. So after that, you have your question. Yes, please.
Prabhu, you mentioned that there were about 100 chapters, or there are about 100 chapters in Brahma Samhita, and we only have one, number 5. So we just don't know what was the content in rest of the chapters.
But this chapter itself is complete in itself. It establishes all the conclusions of the Vaishnava Siddhanta. It talks about what is Krishna's relationship with Vishnu forms, what is Krishna's relationship with the Guna avatars, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and what is his relationship with the famous demigods, Surya and Durga, Shiva, all these things, conclusions it establishes. And it also gives a description about what Krishna is doing in the Goloka Vrindavan, how he is performing his different pastimes. It gives a holistic talk. And then from verse 29 to 56, it's completely Brahma's prayers. And the 57th verse, Krishna speaks the whole Brahma Samhita. And then he gives after that Pancha Shloki. So we know Chatushloki in Bhagavatam. Krishna gives a Chatushloki, the seed verses of Bhagavatam. Here he gives Pancha Shloki, 5 verses. And that completes the whole Brahma Samhita, 62 verses. So, what we will do right now is we'll just look at a little bit about the context in which Brahma recites this Brahma Samhita, and we'll see, if time permits, a few verses of Brahma Samhita's meaning, and if we have further time, we'll recite Brahma Samhita. Okay. All right. So the first verse, we'll look at it. Ishvara Paramah Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So first it says Ishvara. Ishvara is the supreme controller. But there are so many Ishwaras out there, right? I am also in Ishvara because I'm a lead in my team, So all of us are Ishwaras because we are ruling our own body itself, right? So, but then Krishna is the Parama Ishvara. He's the supreme Ishvara. He's the controller of all the controllers, various sorts of so-called controllers. And then but the Mayavadis say Krishna's form is made of matter, right? So here it says Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is not made of the 5 elements, earth, fire, water, ether, and so on. His body is made of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Sat, eternal. His body is eternal. It doesn't get destroyed. Chit is full of conscious. This table is not conscious, but Krishna's body is conscious. My body is also not conscious. As soon as my consciousness goes out of this body, it becomes a dead matter. But Krishna's body is not like that. And it's also bliss. His form is like that. Anadi. He does not have any beginning. Without any beginning, he is existing. Many people question, if God created us, who created God? Nobody created God. He is existing without any beginning. Even in modern science also we have this concept called, eternality without any beginning. Before the Big Bang Theory, what do they say? There was some point or singularity or something like that. And then that existed without any time for so many years, and then it blasted, and then the whole thing came out. They also accept that there is no something without any beginning. So we are accepting Krishna as without any beginning, taking the evidence from the Shastras. And he is also the Adi. All of us don't have any beginning. Krishna says in the 2nd chapter, that's the first instruction Krishna gives in Bhagavad Gita. The first instruction is, you are eternal. You are not going to get destroyed. Neither me, nor you, nor all these kings are going to get destroyed, or we were not existing. He's using negative logic there. So we were existing forever. Then we are going to exist. So, but out of all these Anadis, there is one Anadi who is Adi. Anadi is the opposite of Adi. Adi means beginning, Anadi means no beginning, right? But even though he has no beginning, but he is the beginning of everything, Adi. Govinda is the protector of cows, sitting in Vrindavan. He's not the creator God. In different religion, as soon as we say God, the usual God is the God woke up and then he created the Genesis of Bible. It talks about, right? So in 5 days or 7 days, he created the whole thing. So that becomes the first description of God, and that is the primary description in different religions also, that he is the creator God. But our God is a playful God. He's going to perform playful pastimes. It's not just doing the creating aspect. But he is the Karana of everything. Karana means cause. He is the cause of all causes. So this establishes Krishna's position as the highest. Okay, we can go to text 22. Evam sarvatma sambandham. You can recite after me. Nabhyam padmam harerabhut. Tatra brahma bhavat bhuyas. Chaturvedi chaturmukha. Okay. Evam sarvatma sambandham. Nabhyam padmam harerabhut. There is a lotus, Padma, in the beginning of the creation. Without the creation happens, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu is lying down in the ocean, right? What is that ocean? What's the name of the ocean? Shirashagara is for Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. So I'll give a clue for you to remember that. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Garbhodaka ocean.
Karana ocean?
Karana ocean is Karanarnavashayi Vishnu. So, you have the name there itself. Karanarnavashayi means one who is sleeping on the Karana ocean. Garbhodakashayi, one who is sleeping on the Garbhodaka ocean. Kshirodakashayi, one who is sleeping on the Kshirodaka ocean. Kshirodaka means milk ocean, right? So, he is sleeping on the Garbhodaka ocean. So from his navel came out a lotus. So that lotus is called Sarvatma Sambandha. That means that lotus consists of all the jivas within it. So that becomes the body of a Brahma called Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is a prototype Brahma. He's not the regular creator Brahma. So there are two Brahmas. Laghu Bhagavatamrita explains in detail, giving the evidences. So this prototype Brahma, he stays outside all the universes. And from him, the expansion come within each and every universe. That's called the Vairajya Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma we have here. So that the Jiva all combined together become the body of the Hiranyagarbha Brahma. So from the Hiranyagarbha Brahma, that lotus is said to be the body of Hiranyagarbha Brahma, he came. Who came? Chaturvedi Chaturmukha, four-mukha Brahma. He is also having Chaturvedi, he knows the Chaturvedas. So the Brahma came again, Bhuyaha, which means previously also he has come, right? It talks about previous kalpa. In the previous birth of Brahma, he has come out, now he is coming in as a different person. Brahma is coming again. We can go to the next verse. Sanjato Bhagavat Chaktya Tatkalam Kila Chodita Sishrikshaya Matin Chakre Purva Sanskara Sanskrita Dadarshake Valandhantam Nanyat Kimapi Sarvata. Okay. Sanjataha Bhagavat Shaktya Tatkalam Kila Choditaha. So by the influence of the Lord, Brahma came out. By the influence of the Shakti of the Lord. And he is also inspired by the Supreme Lord himself. When you are inspired by the Supreme Lord, you can actually perform any task of Herculean task, right? Any kind of Herculean task you can perform. So we need inspiration of the Supreme Lord for creation. Creation is a very big job, right? Somebody has to be qualified, and then somebody also needs to be empowered by the Supreme Lord. So that's why it says, Choditaha, inspired, Bhagavat Shaktya, by the Shakti of the Lord. Then after that what happens? Shishrikshaya Matim Chakre. Brahma put his mind, focused his mind on his desire to create the universe. He just now came out. How come he has the desire to create the whole universe? Where did that come from? Purva samskara. Because of the previous samskaras. In previous kalpa, he has done so much pious activities that he becomes qualified to become Brahma. So that samskara is just pushing him, toward that creation part. Pura samskara sanskritaha. Dadarsha kevalan dhantam. But as soon as he came out, though he wants to create, but he sees everywhere darkness. As soon as he sees darkness all around, he became fearful. When you walk in the night alone, sometimes you feel very fearful also, right? So he was also fearful. But then he was thinking, why should I be fearful? Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshat. You become fearful when there is a second person. We become fearful in the night because of ghosts. There is something else, somebody else is there. But if I am the only person here, whom should I be fearful of? Brahma is thinking, there is nobody to be fearful of. Then he gave up his fear. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshat. Dvitiya, when there is two things, then the fear comes out. When there is only one, there is no fear. Na anyat kimapi sarvataha. He didn't see anyone else. You could scroll down to the next verse, please. Yes, you have a question?
So Prabhu, I had a question. Like you mentioned that Brahma was inspired to create because of his previous samskars of doing a lot of pious activity.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe this is a silly question, but there must have been a first Brahma, and like in the beginning, although there's no beginning of time. So like, how do you wrap your hand around that? Some initial Brahma might not have had the lives to get the samskar to do that. Like, how does it start, if that makes sense?
How it all starts. The simple answer is there is no start. So it's like if you plot a graph, right? The graph starts at the midpoint 0, and then this side full of positive numbers. How far the integer goes? No, infinite. And how far in the negative direction the integer goes? Infinite. So it's like that. You cannot search the end of it and then figure out what is the boundary for it. There's no end. It's going on and on and on and on and on and on. That's why Prabhupada says you cannot trace out how did everything began. You cannot trace out that history. This one we should become comfortable because in our experience we have not seen anything like that. But we have seen one thing like that, which does not have beginning. Can I tell you? So when did this lecture start? 7:30? 7:35? Okay. So before that, was the lecture existing that we are speaking together? No, it was not existing. But as soon as we start the lecture, it started existing. So the lecture was not existing before that point. How long it was not existing? Infinite. Back in the history. You cannot trace out how long it was not existing. But as soon as I start the lecture, that non-existence came to an end. So it is like that. Our existence in this world, though there is no beginning looking back, but we can put an end by taking advantage of this Krishna consciousness movement. We can put an end. Thank you.
Prabhu, the Chaturmukhi Brahma is a position, right?
Yeah.
Is that also the case for Hiranyagarbha Brahma?
So Hiranyagarbha Brahma is also a jiva. This is there in Jiva Goswami's commentary. So it is also a position. Change every time the Brahma gets changed. But Laghu Bhagavatamrita also says, sometimes the Supreme Lord himself takes the position of Brahma. And sometimes a jiva takes the position of Brahma. It's the case with the Shiva also. The Lord takes the position of Shiva as well. And then sometimes a jiva also comes and takes the position of Shiva. This is mentioned in Laghu Bhagavatamrita.
One quick follow-up. So the Chaturmukhi Brahma will come into existence, if that's the right word, right? Every time there is a universe being created, because he's there for every universe. The Hiranyagarbha Brahma, though, will come into existence for the material world. Is that a right understanding? Or
So Hiranyagarbha Brahma, the main thing for Hiranyagarbha Brahma is just to exist and enjoy. He just enjoys his existence. He has done enough pious activities, just simply enjoying. But the Chaturmukha Brahma is not only enjoying the offerings given by devatas and the human beings, but he also performs the creation task. Okay. Anything else anybody wants to say? Online? Hare Krishna. Okay. So, can we open the verse 296 of Srimad Bhagavatam? 296. Second canto, 9th chapter. Not first canto, second canto. Okay. Saha chintyan dviaksharam ekada ambhasi upashrinot dvirgaditam vachaha vibhu sparsheshu yat shodasham ekavimsham niskinchana nrupa yad dhanam viduhu. So this is a verse which describes what happened when Brahma came out of the lotus. And then he was going down and then he was searching, where did I come from? Suddenly you are simply, born out of nowhere. The first thing you search for is, how did I come here? One day you got knocked off by somebody and then you wake up and then you are in a completely different setting. What would you first do? You just search out, what is this place? Where is the source? Where is the entrance gate? Where did I come from? What is it? So similarly, Brahma was also searching. And then this verse describes what happened when he was searching for the source. Saha chintayan, he was thinking, where is the source? At that time, dviaksharam, ekada ambhasi upashinot, he heard 2 syllables. Dviakshara, 2 syllables. Durgaditam. And these 2 syllables were recited twice. What is that 2 syllables? It says, tapo, tapa. Very nice. You broke the secret. So, the verse, can you find anywhere tapa? No, you cannot find tapa because it is a secret mantra. When the Guru gives you the secret mantra in your second initiation, he doesn't reveal it explicitly to everyone. He gives you secretly in your right ears. So this is also a mantra. So it is given here secretly. It says, Sparshetsu yad shodasham ekavinsham. So sparsha, the Sanskrit alphabets, it has sparsha and non-sparsha. Sparsha means which literally 2 parts of the mouth touches. Non-sparsha, your mouth doesn't touch. So when you are saying the vowels, a, I, U, nowhere the 2 parts touches. You can just pronounce. R, L, A, O, I, nowhere it touches. But when you come to the consonants, it touches K, G, everywhere. You have to use the 2 parts. So that is called sparsha. Sparsha. So in that sparsha showed us the 16th letter. What is the 16th letter in the sparsha? You have ka, ka, ga, ga, nga, cha, 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 ja, nga, ta, ta, da, da, na, ta. That's the 16th letter. Ta. Sparsheshu yat shodasham. And then she says eka vinsham, 21st. Ta, ta, dha, dha, na, and then pa. So that is ta and pa. Secretly encoded here. And then it says, Niskinchananam yad dhanam. This is the wealth of those who don't have any wealth. So basically, those who perform austerity, they don't have any other wealth with them. They have to renounce everything. Basically, for the renunciates, the only wealth they possess is their austerity, what they perform. But of course, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says tapa here means bhakti yoga. Because after hearing this instruction, we will see in Brahma Samhita, he didn't sit and perform austerity, he actually performed bhakti yoga. Okay. So going back to the verse, Brahma Samhita 20, wherever we were, 24th. You have any points to say?
Prabhu, is there any like context why it was like revealed like twice?
Twice.
The mantra.
So I will complete this. At the end of this, we'll take it because it's also going to reveal 2 verses. Okay. Uvacha puratastasmai tasya divya saraswati kama krishnaya govinda he gopi janayityapi Vallabhaya priyavahner mantrante dasati priyam. So before telling the tapa, what happens? The Divya Saraswati appears. So Divya Saraswati is the Vani of the Supreme Lord, the sound of the Supreme Lord. The sound of the Supreme Lord is actually doing something here. It's actually giving initiation to Lord Brahma. This is the Diksha, the second initiation which we call here in ISKCON, modern day ISKCON. So previously there was only one initiation. Prabhupada also talks about in a letter to Achyutananda. There was only one initiation. That part got split into 2 parts by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Okay. So the first phase of the initiation and the second phase of the initiation. You cannot take 2 initiations, you can take only 1 initiation. But it's divided into phases for after Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for us. So the main element of the initiation, the Diksha, Vaishnava Diksha, is the Guru gives you the mantra through your right ear, secret mantra. Okay. So here the Divya Saraswati, the Vani of Krishna, gives the mantra. Those who have taken second initiation can recognize some of the parts of the mantra. It doesn't put it in an order, it puts in different order, jumbles up the words to maintain that secrecy. Okay. So Kama Krishnaya, Govinda, Gopijana, Vallabha, all these things. And then it says Priya Vahne, the thing which is dear to fire, which is Swaha. When you are putting something in the fire, you say Swaha. So if you all combine together, then you will get the whole mantra. So it says, I am giving you this mantra. Mantram te dasyati priyam. It's a deer. Huh? This mantra, take it and then perform tapa. Please go to the next verse. Tapas, tom tapa etena tavasiddhihi bhavishyati. So tapas, tapa. Tapa is actually a form of command in Sanskrit. Tapa means perform austerity, not just the austerity itself. You perform austerity. It is in the second person addressing. So tapa, if I tell somebody tapa, means you go on to perform austerity. So it says twice to make him, inspire him, go on to austerity. Using that mantra, what has been given, he got initiation just now. So usually in the traditional sampradaya, you first get the Upanayanam ceremony, then you will be given the mantra to do your bhakti yoga process, whatever. But here, he didn't get the Upanayana ceremony, which will happen later. But before that, he got the whole mantra. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in the context of Dhruva Maharaj, he explains this. Dhruva Maharaj, when he went to the forest, he didn't have the Upanayana ceremony. He just went because he was very young. But still Narada Muni gave the mantra. So he says, for Vaishnava mantras, you don't need to follow that. You don't need to take Upanayana first and then you have to take the mantra. You can just directly take the mantra. So this this changes from the traditional understanding. So some people may say that without the Upanayana you cannot chant the mantra, but that's not the case here. Anyway, it says here, Tava Siddhi Bhavishyati. By doing this austerity, you will achieve all your desires. Could you scroll to the next verse, please? Atha tepe sa suchiram Prinana Govindam. So he performed the austerity and he pleased Govinda. The meditation, Brahma's meditation is being described here. What he was meditating upon when he was performing the tapa. Govindam avyayam Shvetadvipa patim Krishnam. Krishna, who is the Lord of the Shvetadvipa. In the commentary, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says Shvetadvipa, which in the previous description, it says it's the hexagonal part, not hexagonal, square that surrounds the Goloka. So Goloka is like in the center, and then surrounding that is the Shvetadvipa. This Shvetadvipa is Navadvipa. So the whole Goloka is complete with Navadvipa. So this is that's called Shvetadvipa. Shvetadvipa literally means white island, but that is here referring to the Navadvipa. Shvetadvipa Patim, he is the Lord of the Shvetadvipa. Krishna, Golokastam Parat Param, he is situated in Goloka. He is the highest of the highest. Prakritya Gunarupinya Rupinya Paryas Paryupasitam. The material energy is worshipping the Supreme Lord. Sahasradala Sampanne Kotikinchalka Brahmhite Bhumigi Chintamanihi Tatra Karnikare Mahasane Samasinam Chidanandam. It's a 1,000-petal lotus, the whole Goloka Vrindavan. It's like a lotus. 1,000 petals are there. Sahasrapatra, Sahasradala. So each of the lotus petal is the different, our acharyas explain, it's like a different places, different kunjas of Vrindavan, different places of Vrindavan. Koti Kinjalka Brahmhite, it has so many filaments, and then the whole land is filled with Chintamani stone, Chintamani sand. Okay. Karnikare Mahasane, in the center is situated Krishna. He's seated like a king. He's full of bliss and conscious. Okay. Could you scroll to the next verse? We'll stop there. Next verse. Okay. Ata venu ninadasya trayi murti mayi gati spuranti pravishesha ashu mukabjani swayambhuhu kayatrim gayataha tasmad abhigatya sarojajaha sanskritaha cha adiguruna dvijatam agamattataha. So then Krishna appears in front of him, and then he plays the sweet flute sound. So the sweet flute sound is a form of Gayatri mantra. This is the Kama Gayatri. So this Gayatri mantra enters the ears of Brahma, and then it comes from his mouth. So through that he attained the Dvijatva, the Brahminical status he has attained. So here he gets the Upanayana ceremony. So before studying the Vedas, you have to get the Upanayana ceremony. So he is going to have the Vedas, which is in the form of the flute sound. He gets the Upanayana ceremony by Adi Guru, Krishna. He is the Adi Guru. So through him, the entire samskara is performed. So after this, the whole prayer of Lord Brahma will start. So this is a good introduction to Brahma Samhita. We'll see Brahma's prayers some other time. Any of you have any reflections, anything you would like to share or comment? Or yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I wanted to ask, Shvetadvip also refers to the island where Lord Vishnu stays in this material world, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay,
But
so what's the resemblance between the Shvetadvip of Golok and the one of this material world?
Right. So in the material universe, especially in the Bhumandala, you also have a Shvetadvipa. Shvetadvipa, white island, means it's surrounded by milk. That's why it's white island, milk ocean, right? So there Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is lying down. This Shvetadvipa, however, is in talking about the spiritual world, not in this Brahmanda. So in the spiritual world, you have Goloka Vrindavan. Surrounding that is that Shvetadvipa. There Vishnu is not present. There Lord Chaitanya is present with performing his Leela with all his associates. So that is also called Shvetadvipa. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, Prabhu. And I would love to know
more about this Shvetadvip.
Okay. So you said it resembles the 9 islands of Navadvip, is it?
Not resembles, it is Navadvip. So just like in Vrindavan we have, when you go near Delhi, you have Goloka Vrindavan, which is Vrindavan, the Vraja, the forest and everything, right? So it's a replica of the spiritual world, right? So we also have in Bengal Navadvip. So the Navadvip is a replication of the spiritual world Navadvip. So where is spiritual world Navadvip in the spiritual world located? It should be close to Krishna's place. Why? Because Krishna himself comes as Caitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not that Vishnu comes as Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna himself descends as Caitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the mood of Radha. And this Shvetadvipa is attached to the Goloka Vrindavan. Because some of us, the devotees of Gaudiya Vaishnava, they can have actually two identity. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. One identity in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, one identity in Krishna's Leela. You can have two identities. We also see all the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are also there in the Krishna Leela as well. So they have these two identities. So you can be attached to both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna, and then you can do that service even in the spiritual world also, because the Navadvip exists in the spiritual world as well. Anything else? Yes, please. We have 2 more minutes.
Maybe one more silly question is, you mentioned that Mahaprabhu found the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita.
Yes.
Is it referenced somewhere else that it has 100 chapters and that's why we know it's missing, or how is that known?
Good question. I don't know. So Jiva Goswami mentions in his commentary that it has 100 chapters. So that's how we learn. And Jiva Goswami is an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we take his words for, truth. Anything else? Any online question, suggestion, comments? Yes. Shamara Prabhu.
I just wanted to thank you for the wonderful, wonderful introduction to Brahma Samhita. It's really amazing. So thank you so much. I'll be eagerly waiting to hear the rest of your Brahma Samhita explanations.
Thank you so much. So we'll stop our session here. His Holiness Krishna Chaitanya Swami will be continuing the session until 9:45 to 10 o'clock. So I'm just like a stepney in the car, substituting for some time. So he's the main speaker, so he will speak now. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhesya kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are really very fortunate to have with us His Holiness Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. Maharaj is a disciple of Loknath Swami Maharaj. He has been traveling all over the world. He has traveled to most of the continents, 30 or 40 countries he has been to. He mainly takes care of, he's in charge of preaching in Maharashtra region, and also he'll be visiting North America more often, and also the Middle East. So as Prabhupada says in one of his purports, one of the activities of a sannyasi is to travel and preach. Maharaj has been doing that expertly for many years. He has even been to difficult places like South America, surround some places where there were anacondas also. He has been there. So Maharaj has been a traveling preacher for so many decades. And yeah, we are very fortunate to have him with us. Maharaj, just like Narad Muni has a veena, Maharaj has a beautiful veena which he, specifically a tanpura, which he plays while glorifying the Lord, even while speaking. So, yeah, and Maharaj does beautiful Bhagavatam Katha. So we are really very fortunate to have Maharaj with us. Maharaj has spent a lot of time in Pandharpur as well, helping the congregation grow. Pandharpur, Nagpur, many places in Maharashtra. So we are very fortunate that Maharaj is here with us today. Let's welcome Maharaj in a ISV style by loudly chanting, Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol!
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Besides all the devotees present here, we also have devotees online who are eager to hear from you.
So today being the sannyas ceremony of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're going to sing this bhajan, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, Doya Koro More. Okay, play the kartals very softly. Okay. Do you play mridanga? Okay, you can play. This bhajan speaks about Lord Chaitanya and how he's descended to this world just to give mercy to the fallen, conditioned souls. Patita, he's Patita Pavana, he's the savior of the fallen. And we can consider that ourselves, we're the most fallen. Therefore, our claim is first. So we can pray from the depths of our heart to Lord Chaitanya to bestow His mercy upon us. And of course, He's doing that through His representatives, Srila Prabhupada, His Senapati Bhakta, and Srila Prabhupada's wonderful followers, and all the wonderful Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. We can get their mercy. And this bhajan also speaks about the associates of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Srivas Pandit, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, and we seek all of their blessings. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Doya Koro More. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Doya Koro More. Toma vina ke doyalo jagat samsare. 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 Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara. Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara. Patita pavana hetu Tava avatara. Advaita Gosai Daya Guru Sitapati Advaita Gosai Daya Guru Sitapati Advaita Gosai Advaita
Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Bhattayuga Sri Jiva Prabhu Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Doya Koro Sri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Chandra Sangamage Narottama Das Ramachandra Sangamage Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Vina Ke Doyalo Jagat Samsare Domarina Jagat Samsare Toma Bina Ke Doyalo Jagat Samsare Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sannyas Mahotsava ki Jai. Do we have a translation available?
Let's see, yes. My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls. But I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. O Swarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O 6 Goswamis, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Jiva Goswami, O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, I pray for your mercy also. O Srinivasacharya, successor to the 6 Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramachandra Kaviraj. Srila Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. Can I have a pair of cartels, please? Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Raja Janaranjana Jamuna Jai Radha Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astutar Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astutar Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Grantaraj Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai Srila Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Sannyas Appearance Day Ki Jai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Mataji, can you put Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 3rd chapter, text 49 on the screen? That's CC Adi 349. Thank you, thank you. Here we go. 3rd chapter. This chapter is text number 49. CC Adi 349. This chapter is entitled The External Reasons for the Appearance of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Please repeat after me. Suvarnavana Hemango Suvarnavarno Hemango Varhangas Chandanangadi Varhangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krichama Shanto Sannyasa Krichama Shanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha Nishta Shanti Parayanaha Suvarnavarno Hemango Varhangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krichama Shanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha Suvarnavarno Hemango Varhangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krichama Shanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. Please chant.
Suvarnavarno Hemango
Suvarnavarno Hemango Varhangas Chandanangadi Sannyasa Krichama Shanto
Nishta Shanti Parayanaha
Nishta Shanti Parayanaha.
Suvarnavarno Hemango
Suvarnavarno Hemango
Varangas Chandanangadi
Varangas Chandanangadi
Sannyasa Krichama Shanto
Sannyasa Krichama Shanto
Nishtha Shanti Parayanaha
Nishtha
Suvarna varna hemango Varangas chandanangadi Sannyasakrit shamashanto Nishtha shanti parayanaha
Suvarnavarno hemango Varangaschandanangadi Sannyasakritchamah shanto Nishtha shanti parayanaha
Vaishnavis,
Suvarna varna hemango Varangaschandanangadi Sannyasakritchamah shanto Nishtha shanti parayanaha
perfect. Jai, thank you. Suvarna, of gold. Varnaha, having the color. Hema angaha, whose body was like molten gold. Vara angaha, having a most beautiful body. Chandana angadi, whose body was smeared with sandalwood. Sannyasakrit, practicing the renounced order of life. Shamaha, equipoised. Shantaha, peaceful. Nishtha, devotion. Shanti, and of peace. Parayanaha, the highest resort. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charnarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. In his early pastimes, he appears as a householder with a golden complexion. His limbs are beautiful, and his body smeared with the pulp of sandalwood. Seems like molten gold. In his later pastimes, he accepts the sannyas order, and he is equipoised and peaceful. He is the highest abode of peace and devotion, for he silences the impersonalist non-devotees. Purport. This is a verse from the Mahabharata, Dana Dharma Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra. In his commentary on the Vishnu Sahasranam, called the Namartha Shuddha, Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, commenting upon this verse, asserts that Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to the evidence of the Upanishads. He explains that Suvarna Varnaha means a golden complexion. He also quotes the Vedic injunction, Yada Pashyate Rukma Varnam Kartaram Ishang Purushang Brahma Yonim, from the Mundaka Upanishad 3.1.3. Rukma Varnam Kartaram Isham refers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead as having a complexion the color of molten gold. Purusha means the Supreme Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Another meaning of the description of the Lord as has a golden hue is that Lord Chaitanya's personality is as fascinating as gold is attractive. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan has explained that the word Varanga means exquisitely beautiful. Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyas, leaving aside his householder life to preach his mission. He has equanimity in different senses. First, he describes the confidential truth of the personality of Godhead. And second, he satisfies everyone by knowledge and attachment to Krishna. He is peaceful because he renounces all topics not related to the service of Krishna. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan has explained that the word Nishta indicates his being rigidly fixed in chanting the holy name of Sri Krishna. Lord Chaitanya subdued all disturbing opponents of devotional service, especially the monists, who are actually averse to the personal feature of the Lord. Suvarnavarno hemango varangas chandanangadi sannyasa krichama shanto nishta shanti parayanaha. Om ajnanatamrandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam jena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobishtam shtapitam yena bhutale svayam rupa kadamayam dadati svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakantvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So thank you all for having me here today, this morning, at ISKCON Silicon Valley. This is my first time being here and giving a class here. So seeking everyone's blessings that I can speak for my own purification, and also something of immense value from our Guru Parampara. This is a tremendously valuable message. And I'd especially like to thank His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu, who had invited me to come when we met in Govardhan this year, and during the month of Kartik. And my dear friend Navina Nirada Prabhu, who has told me the glories of ISKCON Silicon Valley on many occasions. And I'd like to thank His Grace Anant Chaitanya Prabhu for facilitating my visit and making so many arrangements. Thank you so much. And Srivas Pandit Prabhu, I was also in contact with him. Thank you for encouraging me to come. I'm grateful to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Haribol. And of course, Shamrup Prabhu and the Brahmacharis who I'm staying with, Shivas Chandra Prabhu, Deva Prasanna Prabhu, and other devotees. I know it's an austerity having me around, but they're very kind. Thank you. And the devotee, this Dharmatma Prabhu? I missed the name, I'm sorry. Raja Lila? Raja Jivan. Thank you for your wonderful Katha today. It was very inspiring. Thank you so much. So this is Makar Sankranti today. It's a very, very auspicious day. I believe it said whatever you do on Makar Sankranti, it's going to go good. You're going to have something good. So that's very encouraging. And it's a good day to start my pravachan here at ISKCON Silicon Valley. And today is also the most auspicious day of Lord Chaitanya's sannyas. And he, of course, received the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And I also received the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, following in his footsteps by the mercy of my Guru Maharaj. So I'm very grateful. Sannyas means to sacrifice. Mahaprabhu cut off his hair. Mahaprabhu gave up his wonderful family members, Sachi Devi and Vishnupriya, for the sake of spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. So this is an example that we should all take inspiration from. Not necessarily that we all have to externally go through the formality of sannyas, but we internally should take on this mood of offering our mind, our body, and our words to Lord Krishna. Bharata bhumite hoy manusya janma jar janma satakakari para upakar. That especially those who are born in India, they should make their lives successful by becoming Krishna conscious, and then help others make their lives successful by distributing Krishna consciousness. So I was not born in India, at least in this lifetime, maybe previous ones. I was born in New York City, in Manhattan, in 1965, the same year that Srila Prabhupada came to New York. Haribol. So I did take my first initiation in 1991 in Sri Mayapur Dham. Sri Mayapur Dham is also not technically India, it's the spiritual world.
But geographically speaking, materially speaking, at least I was in the vicinity of the material world in Bharat, in India. So I'm also in that category, taking birth in Bharatabhumi. First initiation in Mayapur, second initiation in Sri Mayapur Dham, and sannyas initiation in Sri Pandharpur Dham. And I have a brief 5-minute video of my sannyas initiation that I will try to show at the end of the presentation, if anyone is still sticking around for that. So, this is a beautiful verse that we hear today, the external reasons for the appearance of Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu. We hear about his golden complexion because Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahi Anya. That Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha and Krishna together in one body. He has the golden complexion and the compassionate nature of Srimati Radharani. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport today that Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyas, leaving aside his householder life to preach his mission. So this sannyas is a preaching tactic. It's a preaching tool. And our A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, he took sannyas, following in that line, along with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had encouraged Srila Prabhupada to take sannyas. Within the dream, he was beckoning him, come, take sannyas. But Prabhupada was reluctant. How horrible! He did not want to take sannyas. But even his godbrothers encouraged him. You must, Bhaktivedanta, you must. Everyone, every preacher should take sannyas to preach the mission. So I can share with all of you that in my experience, in my life, taking sannyas has also expanded my preaching opportunities. So I encourage all of you to consider keep in the back of your mind that this may be an option for your preaching opportunities in the future. Lord Chaitanya did not take permission from his mother to take sannyas, nor did he take permission from his wife. However, we're all ISKCON devotees together, and to facilitate our mass preaching movement and mission, the GBC has ruled that any grahasta or vanaprastha that wishes to take sannyas must take permission from their wife. So be peaceful. Yes. So I wanted to discuss briefly this lila of Lord Chaitanya's sannyas. Lord Chaitanya had an elder brother. His name was Vishvarup. And earlier, there were so many girl children that were born, they left their bodies. But then finally, Sachi Devi delivered a boy child, Vishvarup. And Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi, they were so happy they had a child. And soon after that, second son was born to them, Nimai, who later was known as Lord Chaitanya. Nimai, Vishvambar, Gora Hari, these were the three names of Lord Chaitanya as a small child. And Vishvarup used to go and associate with the Vaishnavas, like Advaita Acharya and the other senior Vaishnavas. And they would hear Hari Katha, and they would chant and dance, singing very loudly the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And little Nimai would be sent by Sachi Devi, go and call your brother for lunch. Go and call Vishwarup for lunch. And little Nimai would come, so small child, sometimes clothed in only the 10 directions. And he would say, Vishwarup, come home. Mataji is calling you. Come home for lunch. And he would, and all the Vaishnavas would be stunned at the beauty of little Nimai and say, oh, what a great personality this is. So then, gradually, Vishwarup grew up and there was some talk of his marriage, and Vishwarup didn't appreciate that discussion at all. And he left home and took sannyas without telling anyone. And Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra, their hearts were shattered. They were heartbroken. And shortly after that, Jagannath Mishra, he left his body due to his broken heart. And Nimai was alone with his mother taking care of her. And he said, don't worry, I won't take sannyas. He was reassuring her. Gradually, Nimai grew up. He became a great Sanskrit Pandit and a teacher. He was known as Nimai Pandit. And he supported the family by teaching Sanskrit. He got married, beautiful wife, Lakshmi Priya. And after some time, Lakshmi Priya left her body, and he married again, a wonderful qualified girl by the name of Vishnu Priya. And Vishnu Priya was very young, in her early teenage years, so beautiful, filled with such good qualities. Sachi Devi was so happy to have Nimai with her. And she was so much in love. The whole family was in love with Nimai. One day, Nimai, he went to Katwa. Before Katwa, he went to this place to do the Pindadan. What is that place called? Kya? Gaya, right. He went to Gaya and he met Ishvara Puri there. And Ishvara Puri later initiated him. I'm fighting over the slideshow here. Here we go. Struggling. Okay, yeah. Okay. This is an example of how not to use your presentation. Okay, go ahead. Please excuse me for the temporary intermission. Okay, so we're back. He went to Gaya and he took initiation from Ishvara Puri. Ishvara Puri initiated him into the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And when he was chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he was just going mad, and he could not understand why he was so mad. He was experiencing all these ecstatic symptoms, shivering and hair standing on end, and his mind was not focusing on anything except for Krishna. And the other people in Navadvip, they tried to cure him of this madness by giving him different medicines. And one said the only hope is to soak him in Shiva ghee, and there's so many different remedies, but nothing was working. And he was teaching his students, and he went on a long explanation for many hours with his students, and at the end, he could not remember anything that he had said. He asked the students, what did I say? And they said, the only thing you spoke about was Krishna. And Nimai Pandit, he says, I'm not qualified to teach you anymore. You should go and find another teacher. And the students said, we don't want any teacher
except for you. And they just tied up their books and they left. So one day he was teaching and he started calling out the names of different gopis. He was chanting the names of different gopis. So the students, they said, this is wrong. The scriptures say we should chant the name of Krishna. Why are you chanting the name of gopis? And Lord Chaitanya got angry. He said, why are you telling me this? And he picked up a stick and began to start chasing them. And Lord Chaitanya is very big and strong, and he had this big stick, 7 feet high, long arms, heavy stick, and they started running and running and running, and he was chasing them, and they escaped. And then they met together, and they said, we are Brahmanas. No one should chastise us. Who does this Nimai Pandit think he is? The next time he tries to do something like this, we will show him a lesson. We will chastise him. So like this, they had an offensive mentality against Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya mentioned to his intimate associates that I have come in order to reduce the disease, but now I see that the mucus is increasing. So then Lord Chaitanya said, I will derive a transcendental trick. I will take sannyas. After taking sannyas, everyone will come and offer their respect to me. And this way they will advance in Krishna consciousness. So Nimai Pandit had this plan to take sannyas, and he was planning to leave home. And Sachi Mata could kind of understand. Women have an intuition. My mother was very good at this. She said, I am a witch. She could understand what was going on. So she could kind of understand that something was happening. But everyone was getting ready to sleep. And one devotee, Kolavecha Sridhar, he brought one pumpkin that had grown on his roof. And he gave it to Sachi Devi, and she cooked it and prepared a pumpkin kheer for Lord Chaitanya. And he honored that. That was the last thing she cooked for him before he left. And then it was late at night, and then early in the morning before the sun came up, and Sachi Devi was sleeping, Vishnupriya was sleeping, everyone was sleeping. Lord Chaitanya got up, and without saying a word to anyone, he left. Sachi Devi woke up shortly thereafter, and she saw that Nimai was gone. She went chasing after him outside. Nimai! 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 She was calling out and calling out for him, but there was no reply. There was no response. Nimai Pandit, Lord Chaitanya, he crossed the Ganges, and he went to Katha, and he appealed to Keshava Bharati, a great sannyasi, to give him sannyas. And that time he had a brahmachari named Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And Keshava Bharati was reluctant, but ultimately, because Mahaprabhu was very insistent, and he's so charming and he's so charismatic, that Mahaprabhu convinced Keshava Bharati to give him sannyas. So then he had to go and cut his hair. Okay, so now we come into our presentation. So this is Mahaprabhu chanting and dancing in Navadvip as Nimai Pandit. And then this is when Mahaprabhu is leaving home to take sannyas, leaving his mother and his wife. And this is the scene where we are now. Mahaprabhu is appealing to the hair cutter, the person who cuts the hair, because you have to shave your head before sannyas. And he had some most beautiful long hair. And the barber, he did not want to cut Lord Chaitanya's hair. And Mahaprabhu had to convince him and convince him and convince him. And eventually, the barber finally agreed. And there were so many people wailing and crying, "No, no, don't do it, don't do it." They were all appealing to him not to do it. Finally, Lord Chaitanya convinced the barber to shave his head. And when he had his head shaved, then he received the sannyas mantra from Keshava Bharati. Before receiving the mantra from Keshava Bharati, Mahaprabhu whispered that mantra into Keshava Bharati's ear and said, "This is the mantra I want." So actually Mahaprabhu initiated Keshava Bharati first to the personalist school of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, because Keshava Bharati was an impersonalist. But he received this initiation from Mahaprabhu. And then Keshava Bharati, he initiated Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he kept his name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And he became Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So he kept his brahmachari name in the mood of maintaining sannyas, and in the mood of maintaining his humility. Because we all know this very important verse chanted by Lord Chaitanya. Trinadapi sunichena Torapi sahishnuna Amanina manadena Kirtaniya sadahari. So Mahaprabhu was very jubilant upon taking sannyas, and there was so much chanting and dancing, and everyone, and the whole sky was filled with the loud chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in 2020, I also took sannyas on Gaur Purnima in Sri Pandharpur Dham. Mataji, can you see if that video is available? Can you try to download? And when I received the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya, I was surprised. I was not expecting to receive that name. It's the same name that Lord Chaitanya received. So I was overjoyed to receive that name. And when I was asked to speak at my sannyas ceremony, I spoke about Lord Chaitanya. And I knew that some of my family members were also watching online. So I wanted to share some information about Lord Chaitanya with them. They don't know who he is. So I explained a little bit. And then I wanted to share the verse that very much inspired me in my endeavors towards renunciation. And that is the fourth verse of the Shikshastakam prayers, which we can chant together. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadeesha kamaye mama janmani janmanishvare Bhavatad bhaktir ahoitaki tvai. Na dhanam, I don't want wealth. Na janam, I don't want followers. Na sundarim, I don't want beautiful women or beautiful men. Na kavitam, I don't want to go to the heavenly planets. Mama janmani janmanishvare, just birth after birth after birth. All that I desire is bhavatad bhaktir ahoitaki tvayi. Ahoitaki, unmotivated devotional service. So that time when I first read this verse, it was the first time I was reading Prabhupada's book, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, the introduction about the life of Lord Chaitanya. I was reading it in the John F. Kennedy Airport. I just received a book from a devotee there. Revati Nandan Prabhu, who's left his body, had kindly distributed that book to me. And I was saying, this is amazing. All the things that everyone is chasing in the material world, wealth, beautiful partner, then fame, and then maybe going to the heavenly planets. This person is not interested in any of these things. He's only interested in unmotivated devotional service. I'd never heard the term unmotivated devotional service. I did not even know the term devotional service. But I said, I should try to understand what is this unmotivated devotional service that this person is aspiring for, desiring. I should make this one of the goals in my life to try to understand this. And that began my journey in Krishna consciousness. And it's led to today. So I want to share this video, which was taken during my sannyas initiation ceremony. We had a 2-day ceremony. There was the day before where we had a hair cutting ceremony at the Chandrabhaga River in Pandharpur, and then the following day, Gaur Purnim, was the sannyas. Please roll the video.
Gangeya champeya tadid vinindi rochi pravaha snapitan ma brinde bandhu kabandhu dyuti divya vashi brinde numaste charana vrindam. Atyuktayokeli vilasa siddhi tvaso bhagam kedani ruchatanta brinde numaste charana bhavinda. Rasa vilaso vasatischa vrindavane tvadi sangri saroja seva lavya cha punsam kripaya tavaiva vrinde numaste charana ravinda.
You can see there are so many people in the credits. It takes a village to raise a child. So many gurus. Vande Shri Guru Nam. Gurun Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha. I had so many wonderful devotees guide me through my Krishna consciousness. I feel so blessed. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
I have a question, Prabhu,
Yes,
because
go
you have recently taken sannyas initiation.
Yeah.
So, first thing is they carry this danda, the sannyasis.
Yes.
Even Caitanya Mahaprabhu was also carrying.
Yes.
How long they're supposed to carry the dandas?
There's no specific time limit for dandas. There's kind of a tradition in ISKCON that's minimum 10 years.
Oh, minimum 10 years.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not a shastric injunction. But generally, I can share like my Diksha Guru Parampuja Lokanath Swami Maharaj. He used to carry his danda all the time, and he'd go see Prabhupada in his room in Juhu and different places. And Prabhupada commented to him that it's very nice you always carry your danda. The other sannyasis should also carry them, like that.
I see, but it's is it practical to carry it in the plane also when you're traveling?
Well, you see, I'm not having a danda right now, so they charge you as check-in luggage or this or that. I had a folding danda, it broke. It's under repair.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So it's recommended. I was traveling with Indradumna Maharaj a few years ago in Poland, and every day we'd be doing festivals practically, and he shared with me that he had a dream, that Prabhupada came to him in his dream and said, "Why aren't you carrying your danda?"
Oh.
And then he started carrying it. He would strap it in the car and he would carry it. So It's recommended because the danda represents mind, body, and words dedicated to Krishna. And it's very helpful to have that with you to remind you that, yes, I had made this pledge, I had made this promise, so I should keep that. So that's also helpful. Plus, sannyas used, Lord Chaitanya took sannyas as a preaching strategy, basically. So having the danda makes the preaching strategy more effective. That if you walk into some place with a stick, people take you more seriously. I can attest to it. I have experience. So I'm trying to arrange a makeshift danda today. Maybe I'll get a hold of one.
Jai.
Thank you.
My next question is, when the sannyasis offer obeisances,
Yes.
they first put the danda down.
Yeah.
Then is there any reason?
That's just there was. I don't know if there's any scriptural injunction to do that, but I believe I can even remember seeing Prabhupada doing that in video footage. So it's like there's a niti shastra, that which is said, and there may be also something that which was seen. So we see Prabhupada did it. I see my Guru Maharaj does it. We see all the sannyasis, they do it. So I do it like that. So I don't think there's any I'm not aware of any shastric injunction that you offer your, put the danda down and then offer obeisances. But I can share one tip with you if you ever take sannyas. That the first day I had my danda, when I first got it, you can see in the video, when I first received it, and then I offered dandavats, I had my hands way out in front of me with the danda sticking up. Now, all of you know engineering, so you know that if you have a huge fulcrum and you're holding the tiny little end of it, you know how much pressure is there. So I actually strained the muscles on the back of my shoulders doing that, because you should actually do it with the danda next to your head. So you're not way out there, you're here. You have more wiggle room here for the danda. So you keep it like this, and it should be pointing straight up. I was in Kartik this year, I offered my obeisances, I was having the danda go on my back, like this, pointed kind of on a diagonal. And His Holiness Navi Yogendra Maharaj was kind enough to point out to me. Oh no, it was His Holiness Amiya Vilas Maharaj. He said, no, not like that. It should be straight up. Okay, so I learned something about danda management. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Or kuch chaye. Anyone else? Anything else they want to share? Any reflections? Reflections are big in this yatra. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is such a great blessings that today is the Lord Chaitanya Sannyas, and your name is also Krishna Chaitanya, which Sri Krishna Chaitanya, which yes. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also got. And we are extremely blessed to hear from you. And you shared your life's journey, how in the airport you got the book, and right there you are inspired by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's that 4th verse, and slowly you matured and you got more and more inspired, and now you are preaching everywhere. This is such a great, inspiring example. Thank you for sharing your life story. That's very, very inspiring. So my question is how is that, how did you prepare for the sannyas, or how one should prepare his consciousness? And because ultimately, end of the day, we all aspire to fully surrender. So as you rightly said, external or internal. But internal aspiration of a devotee is to fully surrender to Krishna.
Yeah.
So what are the, basically, living the externals, internally, how should one dedicate more and more? Or what are some of the things that can help one to mature through his life?
Well, ultimately, we all want to cultivate this mood that Lord Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita 1866. Sarvadharman prajajaha mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishami masuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So the sannyasi should be fearless, abhayam. And by surrendering everything to Krishna, we can cultivate this mood of fearlessness. So this is very important. By the mercy of Guru, by the blessings of our Gurus, we can attain to this platform. Sanatana Goswami writes in Hari Bhakti Vilas that just as an expert alchemist can turn bell metal into gold, so similarly the expert spiritual master can transform even the most unqualified person into a Brahmana or a Vaishnava. So we require these blessings, so we should seek the blessings of our Gurus in order to advance in devotional service. By our own strength, none of these things are possible. Yasyat prasadad bhagavat prasado yasyat prasadan nagatit kutopi. That when the spiritual master is pleased, Krishna is pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, anything is possible. Guru mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarnam. And by the mercy of Guru, the blind man can see, the dumb man can speak the most eloquent poetry, the lame man can cross the ocean cross the mountains, and the Malecha born in New York City can become a sannyasi. It's incomprehensible, inconceivable. So Guru's mercy is here. We should aspire for that. And that will help purify ourselves. And of course, we should very seriously and with great dedication and enthusiasm, we should embrace the Yuga Dharma, the loud chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Does that answer your question, Prabhu? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So we'll take one last point and we'll conclude and we'll have a Guru Puja. Please proceed.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class. Maharaj, one question I had is, in this world we see this desire for companionship, especially of the opposite gender, is very strong. And most living entities, they just cannot live without it. But a sannyasi so boldly says no to it. And from what I remember, I think in one of the purports, Prabhupada says it's because of the confidence that a sannyasi has, that Paramatma is always with me, Krishna is always with me. So Maharaj, how do we develop this genuine, deep confidence that no matter what happens in this world, Krishna is always with me? Anything you would like to share from your specific realizations?
So in the Rishabdev's teaching, he talks about this desire for companionship. He says, Pumsam striyo maituni bhavametan turor. What is that? Can you bring up on the board, Mataji? 558, I believe it is. Pumsam striyo maituni bhavam. Pumsam means the male, and striyo means the female. And maituni bhavam means the mood. Some people, they think it means just sex life, but it's more than sex life. Maituni, when we have the astrology, the Gemini, the twins, we see the stars in the sky. The astrologers, they call them the Maituni, the twins, the Gemini. So it's the mood of companionship. And we should realize this teaching of Rishabdev. Pumsam striyo maituni bhavametam tayo amito hridaya grantimahu ato griha kshetra sutapta viter janasya mohoya maham ameti. So the translation, can we scroll down please? Niche Jenge. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. So this is a potential stumbling block on the path of advancement of devotion. If we have this conception and we think that this body is mine, and these relatives are mine, and this wife is mine, and we think in terms of aham mameti, I and mine, this is a big misconception. Even if we do enter the Grihastha ashram, we should understand the wife does not belong to us. She's a devotee of Krishna. She's Krishna's servant, not our servant. So in this way, we can try to cultivate this mood of devotional service with Krishna in the center, in the Grihastha ashram. So you had asked, how is it that the sannyasi, he is not feeling alone? Akela, right? That's the word, akela. Yeah. Aap akela hai? Are you alone? I say, no. Akela nahi hai. I'm not alone. Sarvasya chaham ridi sanyavisto matasmitir gnanam aponam cha vedaischa sarvaham eva vedyo vedanta krid vedavid eva chaham sarvasya chaham ridi sanyavistaha. I am situated in everyone's heart. When people, they ask me, are you alone? I say, no, Krishna is in my heart. I'm always with Krishna. And we should also feel that we're always with the spiritual master also. Srila Prabhupada went preaching in the West. First Gaur Purnima in March in 1966. Prabhupada was in the West. And he celebrated it without any other Vaishnava there. It was the really early days. And devotees said, didn't you feel alone? Prabhupada said, I always felt my spiritual master is constantly with me. I'm never separated from my spiritual master. When Prabhupada returned to India, he drove past the Gaudiya Math that had the samadhi of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But he didn't stop there. He went right to Mayapur. Gaudiya Math devotees, they criticized him. Why didn't you stop at your Guru Maharaj's samadhi? Didn't you want to have his darshan? Prabhupada said, I am always connected to my Guru Maharaj. It's never disconnected. So we should always feel an attachment, a connection, and the presence of Lord Krishna. And we should always feel an attraction, and our connection always with the spiritual master. And with all the Vaishnavas, because we're all in this together. At the end of the day, all we have is each other. So we should always feel connected to the Vaishnavas. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Once again, I'd like to express my gratitude to all of you for coming today and giving your encouragement and enthusiasm and association. Thank you so much for having me. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Maharaj, thank you so much for coming and gracing us with your association, with your Katha, and with your practical wisdom and tips. We are looking forward to your visit very soon, and please keep us in your travel radar so that we can see you again very soon. So please, a big thank you for Sri Krishna Chaitanya Maharaj with a big Haribol and a big clap. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So I think we'll need to remove the asanas, and then we can, we'll also roll up the carpet. So we'll have a passageway so that Srila Prabhupada can see the deities, and then we can have the Guru Puja.
Okay, 9 months back. How are you finding it here? Okay.
I work for Google. I was working for Google.
Hare Krishna. We have cartels. Are we ready? Ready to do puja? You ready, huh? Shank? Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Kati Sadma. Charana Padma
savadana mate.
Prema Bhaktiya hoite
Krishna prestaya bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Sakarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadvaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. बोलिए बोलिए Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Govinda Jai Jai, Gopala Jai Jai. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जोर से बोलिए। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatar Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charna Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astatar Satasri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagna Ki Jai Brihat Mridanga Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Tai Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohanji Ki Jai Shri Shri Lakshmi Singh Dev Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Mahaprabhu Sannyas Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai Makar Sankranti Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru, Shri Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We would like to welcome all of you to the ISKCON of Silicon Valley on this Saturday morning. So first of all, we would like to thank His Holiness Sri Krishna Caitanya Swami Maharaj for gracing us in ISV, and we hope that you will keep us in your radar for many more occasions. We'll see you again. So in the morning we started with Japa Circle. We would like to thank Vrajajivan Prabhu for thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing amazing 3 verses and helping us to actually to do our japa better. So again, we want to thank Vrajajivan Prabhu for giving a presentation on Brahma Samhita. Thank you, Prabhu, for that. And then we would like to thank again His Holiness Krishna Caitanya Swami Maharaj for giving a wonderful class on Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. Thank you so much, Maharaj. What a wonderful occasion has it been. It's the auspicious occasion of Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas, and you gracing us and talking about that. Thank you so much. So for the Sankirtan spots, Western Sankirtan is going to Lake Marriott in Oakland. You can contact Adin Prabhu or Vaishno Toshani Prabhu. I believe Vaishno Toshani Prabhu was here and Adin Prabhu is going to come sometime, right? And Santa Cruz? No other spots for Western Sankirtan, but I believe there are door-to-door spots. You can contact Ramapriya Prabhu or Rohini Dulal Prabhu for that, or Achyuta Kumar Prabhu for that. So tomorrow we'll be having Sunday program in the evening at 3:30 p.m. It's by Rohini Priya Prabhu. So you are invited for that. And are there any newcomers today? Okay, so it's just us. Okay, the prasadam will be served outside, right here. So, yeah, I think that's all is on the announcement side. Thank you so much. Haribol.
I have some prasadam from Lord Vittala from Pandharpur. And I have some the single oil, I think, from Mayapur. Yeah, so please, probably I should distribute there, huh? Be better. So we'll distribute there by the prasadam so we don't put Mahaprasadam crumbs in the temple room.
Sharira Vidyaja Arindriya Kahika Vivepele Vishaya Sagare Armate Chivayati Lobhamay Shuturmati Krishna Prasade Govinde Namo Brahma Kalpa Punna Patam Rajan Shasam Vajayate Hare Sarva Dukhanam Nami Vajayate Prashanna Cheta Shayatu Bhagavati Mahaprasadam ke Nitai Gaura Brahmanande. His Holiness Shri Krishna Chaitanya Swami Maharaj ke